everyone, Alpha Soul here, and welcome to another video. Today's video is really just a quick discussion and a quick take on what I would like to see come out of this next upcoming live letter that is due from Intrepid Studios either this week or sometime next week. It's supposed to be coming sometime soon. We don't have an exact date yet, as things were or are apparently being squared away, and I would just like to kind of cover what I am expecting or what I would hope to see coming from this live letter. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, the first thing that I would like to see is updates on the MMO. Now, what do I mean by this? What I want to see is what progress has been made on the MMO. You know, I want to see if there are any updates on the current systems that have us so excited. For example, the node system, you know, the tax system, the guild warfare system, leveling, all sorts of systems that are in MMOs. There are so many systems in these games and so many systems that are planned for Ashes of Creation. I'd like to hear of any updates and any talk, any theorizing on it. It would just be incredibly, helpful to know. And I would also kind of like to see some of the stuff that's been creeping out recently, and that's assets, that are currently being made. We know that they're developing in a certain style, and different teams are developing on different things, and we kind of want to see what the some of the fruits that are able to be shared with some of the community and what those are. So a good example is the bear asset that was recently shared, as far as kind of like a graphic of the bear running. So that would be pretty cool, and something that I would like to see. So just overall updates on the MMO. The next thing that I would like to see is specifically a roadmap for the MMO. We got a roadmap, it was a while ago, and some people had put together kind of a more succinct roadmap, but I like to see one coming from Intrepid Studios that is, overview basically of what is to come. How do all these things that are being developed, how does everything connect in the scheme of things? What's the timing of these things? And it doesn't have to be an exact time frame, but like a general time frame of when we can kind of expect them. Overall, in general, yes, we would like to definitely see a roadmap and how these things relate, or an updated roadmap. The next thing that I'd like to see is details about the past tests that have been run. So what I mean by this specifically, we've been doing a lot of testing, a lot of going into APOC and running tests. We'd like to see, kind of what the results are, what Intrepid is kind of interpreting from these tests from a high level view. So what went wrong? What went well? How does this relate to the MMO? And, what are the lessons that have been gleaned from these testing? And kind of, what are we kind of expecting from this going forward? So the past tests, definitely like to see just some summaries of what has changed, even when it comes to balance within the battle royale, for example. Like to see some more info about that. Now, the next thing I'd like to see is just some generic information on PAX East. The last time we heard about PAX East, I believe, was closer to at the end of last year, or maybe in the even beginning of this year. And the last plans were that the team and Intrepid Studios was going, but with the recent kind of speculation that things might be delayed, we're wondering if that is still the case. And if they are going to PAX East, will they have tickets for sale through Intrepid Studios and through that kind of node, if you will. So I'm kind of wondering about PAX East. Next, I'd like to see what the plans are for Apocalypse. We have a general overview and plans for what Apocalypse is going to do and going to bring, but the things that kind of have me concerned really are with the recent big success of Apex Legends, for example. I'd like to see if this has changed their thinking on the Battle Royale. The Battle Royale genre in general is large, and it's true that APOC or it's basically the Intrepid version of the Battle Royale is something that is not really present in the whole kind of gaming atmosphere. But at the same time, as far as polish goes, I thought that Apex Legends, and think that Apex Legends, from everything that I've seen, is far more polished and is just a complete Battle Royale game, down to the little systems and the pinging systems that they have within the game, as compared to Ashes of Creation. It, quite frankly, puts it to shame. And so, given that there are much more polished, games out there, and the competition is just getting more fierce, is it still worth it to keep around Apocalypse, specifically the Battle Royale. You know, I do think that the Castle Siege and the Horde mode are very unique takes, very unique game modes that I think will garner a lot of support. But as far as the Battle Royale, I just don't see it happening, and I'd like to kind of hear what their overall plans are, if they've changed at all for the Apocalypse, just the whole suite. And finally, the last thing that I kind of like to see in here is an update of the status of the forums. The forums is something that I think me and a lot of other people do miss, and the fact that it's been down for so long, and it is, you know, greatly exceeded as far long. It's past like 2 deadlines at this point of when it was supposed to come up. I think the first one was in December, and the next one was supposed to be end of January, and then, you know, that date passed off, and then, you know, here we are approaching March, and we still have heard no word for this. So I'm curious to see what's happened with the forums, you know, what happened in the past, and kind of the update on that. So that pretty much concludes kind of what I'm expecting. There are, you know, a general about, you know, bunch of things that I would love to hear from this, but still, you know, that's just kind of my list. I'm curious, what are you guys expecting out of this live letter? And that's pretty much it, guys. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day. Alpha Soul out.